Hello, 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 and welcome to part 3 of my relationship with a narcissist series. This part is dealing with the discard phase. So, in the other two videos, we went over the love bombing phase, we went over the devaluing or devaluation phase. Now we're going to go through the discard phase. I mean, there's really not that much to say about discard. What does discard mean? Okay, you're done with something, you throw it in the trash. That's what discarding is. And that is what you will feel like in this phase of the relationship with a narcissist. You will feel like a piece of trash. Trust and believe, okay? All right. So, first thing I want to say, go back and watch the other two videos to kind of catch up to see where we're at. And I'll give you some more background information. Now I want to reiterate, a narcissist has no emotional connection. They are not able to empathize. They are not able to truly love. Well, they are able to love themselves because they are in love with themselves and they completely love themselves. They want to be the center of everyone's universe and believe they love themselves. But the problem is they don't love themselves in a way that's healthy. They don't know how to self-validate. They don't know how to fill those empty voids. They don't know how to fill themselves with the love of God. They just know how to love themselves in the sense of being completely selfish and putting themselves first at all times. Okay? But they don't see everyone around them that they use as appliances and fuel supplies. They don't know how to love us and see us as a human. We are objects. We are appliances. We are the article of clothing they hang up in the closet. We are a car. We are a shiny new toy. That's what we are to a narcissist. We are not human, and they are not able to make that connection. You gotta understand that. And you can't teach them how to do that. Just like you can't teach them empathy. You cannot teach them. They will watch movies, maybe read a book, and try to mirror what they think empathy is, but they do not know how to empathize. They just are disconnected from that, right? Okay. What's going to happen is usually after they have, you're not going to know this is happening because it's going on in the background. Usually with a narcissist, they're always going to make sure they have a fuel source. It's like they have to constantly be getting fed from an outside source. They don't know how to self-validate. So they constantly have to have fuel sources. So they're ready to discard you. They've already put you through the devaluation phase, and they've already, in the background, they've already groomed a new fuel supply. Or they're in the process of doing it, and they feel that this new fuel supply is going to be a good replacement for you. They're pretty confident about that, so they're ready to discard you and move that other person into their primary source position, put you in the harem garage. Parking in the harem garage with the other retired or semi-retired fuel sources. It's so crazy. I always say that. All right, so what they're going to do, usually discard by silent treatment. That's really a preferred method of discarding you, because that way they don't have to take ownership of why they're discarding you. They like that method because it's a weapon. It's mentally abusive. They don't ever have to give you a reason of why you're being discarded. And then it leaves you alone with your own imagination, and you can come up with all these different reasons why you got discarded, and you can just blame it on yourself. Oh my gosh, I must have did something. I must have did something to make them angry. I must have did something, and you can go through all these things and torture yourself trying to figure it out, which is what they want you to do. Also, they want to leave the door open because when they let's say this new fuel supply doesn't live up to their expectations, which they won't, because none of the fuel supplies ever live up to their expectations. They're going to come back into the harem garage and figure out which car they want to, get out of the harem garage, dust off, and drive around again. That's when the Hoover comes in, which is going to be part 4. Now, if they permanently retire you or permanently discard you, which is the final discard, that's a whole different story. And this might be a final discard. You'll never know, because this narcissist could come back around in 6 months. They could come back around in a year. This narcissist could come back around in 20 years, honey. You could be sitting in a retirement home sipping on lemonade with your friend Betty, okay? Or John, or whoever, you could be a man going through this. And you could have dementia, honey. And this person could come back and pick you up, try to get you out of the harem garage. You're a classic. You're a classic now, sitting in the harem garage. They're going to come back and try to Hoover you. They don't forget you. Okay, so I'm going to lean towards the likelihood of you being a permanent discard is probably very low. The only reason why they'd ever permanently discard you is if you figure them out and you expose them. Like, you got them figured out and you're not a good fuel supply source. Like, you figured out they're a narcissist, which they'll never admit to. And, you're just not giving them the fuel supply that they need. They're not going to come back. So why would they do that? That's like going back to an empty well. They're not going to do that. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to come back and try to get you out of the harem garage. Now, we want to make a community of members here. It's my goal. Where they don't come back, because we don't want them to come back. Matter of fact, the ideal thing would be to discard them. Like, discard them before they even think about discarding us. Because that would just be the most ideal situation, right? That will cause a narcissistic injury, which is a whole nother topic we can discuss on a different video. But who cares? We just want to get rid of them. Or if they discard us, that'd be the best thing that could ever happen to you. Trust and believe. All right, so I do want to say that the push and pull that a narcissist puts you through, or a relationship with a narcissist, does actual physical damage to your brain. And I'm going to do a separate video about that. So this is serious business. Like, it literally causes brain damage. So if you come out of a relationship with a narcissist and you feel like you have gone mentally insane, you're correct. Because that experience has literally changed your brain. Now, there's ways to fix it, but do you really want to put yourself through that? I don't think so. All right, so again, just remember, you're not human, you're an appliance. When you go through the discard phase, it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. You're going to feel like you died. You're going to feel like you went crazy. You're going to feel like it's all your fault. You're going to want answers. You're never going to get the answer. Never going to get the answer. Okay, so that's why we're talking about this amongst ourselves, to know if you're dealing with a narcissist. Don't look for the answers, because you're never going to get them. And you have to bring the closure to yourself. And then you need to work on yourself to figure out why you're attracting narcissists to your life. And figure out a way to close that door, because we don't want narcissists in our life. We do not want them. Okay? So, this video is just real short today. That's all I had to say about discard phase. I'm not going to give too much attention to that. Just keep in mind, ideally, we want to discard them. Let's get to that place. And I'll be back for the final installment of this series, which will be the 4th phase, Hoover, when they try to come back and Hoover you back in. So I'll be back for that next. And then we'll talk about some other things that are fun to talk about when it comes to narcissists. So stay tuned. See you later.